Hey Bill, I thought I'd do a quick video here on this stuff that you found, that bare metal foil. Stuff's really easy to work with. After I did that first door panel, I decided I'd try to do a quick video. So I've already cut the pieces the width that I need. I've already cleaned off and sanded the molding that's going to be covered with 400 grit sandpaper and wiped it clean. So I'm going to try to do this as fast as I can so this video doesn't take a whole bunch of hours. So basically, you just take this stuff here and you catch an edge and peel it back. And I'm not afraid of touching the end because I'm going to have the end on the bottom down there. So I just peel it off like so, and then take it and drape it over where you're going to go and get it centered and pinch it and then run it down to the bottom and then run your finger down that top edge and push it back. I tried not to touch this end up here because that's the part that is going to get overlapped. I wanted it to stick good. So once I push down that center section, you know, they tell you to use a toothpick. Well, I use a round pick here. It's a metal one for doing my fine edges, and I just use a good old-fashioned squeegee here for the edges, because this had to be pushed into that contour. So I just rubbed it in like that, and I'm pushing into that little beveled edge. Push in both sides. This stuff is just incredible to work with. I've been doing this for quite a few years, and I've painted these for years. Haven't been totally pleased with how they looked, but they look better than they do if they're wore out. But this stuff here is just almost as close to original as you could ask for. So once you get that pushed into that edge, then I just drag this over to get that out to that outside edge. Try not to push down on this edge out here because it'll stick to the tape when you go to roll it around that bottom corner. And then pull that out. Like so, and then just push this edge in. Try not to push on that outside edge so that it doesn't drag on that tape. Tape's on there because when I was sanding it, I didn't want to take a chance of sanding my freshly painted panels. And then just push it in. And it follows contours that I was amazed. I did your headrests, and you know, they're totally rounded, and they followed that contour and no kinks. It's really easy to work with. And once you get it to that point there, then I just rub my finger over, because now I know I'm pretty good at having it where it needs to be. And then this bottom edge down here, I just push it down, follow that little taper off. Just like that. And take your little Sharpie knife here, and it takes very little pressure. Just put it in your seam. Drag it up like that, cut across that bottom. Make sure you're not cutting through your vinyl. That's what they tell you in the instructions. And drag that like that, and you just grab this edge and peel it out. Peel across your bottom. Get that out of your way. And then I just take one of these micro cloths and push on all the corners. I cut that a little long down there, so trim it back up. So there's the bottom. Now I made sure that my edge is nice and flat here. And peel off this top edge. This will be the edge that I don't worry about because I know I'm going to overlap enough. Peel it off. Take it. I overlapped about 1 inch. Put it over that. Make sure you're centered and you got enough on both sides, so just follow that bump right up the center there. You can move it around after too. It doesn't, it's not like once it touches it's stuck. It don't really get that way until you give it a good press. And do that same thing. I don't know if you guys can see me up on this end up here. Got my camera hanging on the wall right now, so if you can't, you saw it down there. Again, push it into the groove. Like so. Their instructions sound really simple. When I read them, I kind of chuckled because it sounded way too easy to be working with something that is this flimsy, but it's incredible how strong this stuff is. Okay, and then pull it out. Now you're catching that outside edge. Just like so. And the seam really does, it doesn't jump out at you. I mean, if you were looking for it and knew where it was, you could probably find it. But trust me, I don't think they were that critical back in the day. This stuff sure seems to be pretty close to the same type of stuff that they put on originally, because when I peeled all the old stuff off, it was about the same consistency when I was cutting through it and trying to get it off, and it came off hard. So hopefully this stuff will stay on there for another 50 years. And roll that corner in. I know you can't see this end up here, but fake it. It's the same as the other end. So that's that. And I do agree, definitely want to use a sharp blade, because I imagine if the blade was dull, it would have a tendency to drag it across, and then it would probably tear it. And I already told you, Bill, we're going to clear coat this, which will put a finish on it. It bites so good, I almost thought a guy could get away without even doing that, but because I have to put the black line on it in a second here, definitely want to protect that black line. Okay, let me pull that back, peel that off, that down like that. Take our cloth again, and this really gets it down in the, now you can get really aggressive with it because it's already stuck, so you give it a little bit extra pressure and really get it pushed down into the nooks and cranny. I'm pushing with my fingernail a little bit. That's it. It's on. The other thing I did is I took a felt marker. The factory line was a chrome and then 2 black lines, and then it had chrome on the outside edge. So what I did is I just used a felt marker. This stuff will stand up to the clear coat, and put it in the groove and just freehand it. It jumped out once on the other one, but because this is metal, I could come right back with some cleaner, and I was able to just knock it right back off. And try to hold your marker in the same spot so you get the same width line. That black line that's on the factory piece was pretty faint, so I'm betting they had somebody pretty much doing it the same way. And then come to this side. Got enough of a groove there where it holds the... Use a really fine tip. Get a brand new one. Don't try doing this with an old one. I guarantee it'll flip out of that hole, and you'll be cleaning excess off. It really it accepts the marker really well. It doesn't. I thought it would try to come off. I'm going to put one more down this side. I went 3 down the other side. And that's that. And remember, I only put the tape on there to protect it when I was sanding it. And again, I used 400. Try not to push this on too hard, but I used, vinyl dye, so that stuff is really good. I don't know if you could ever really get it to come off with tape. It's super good stuff. That's Sim product, if you guys have that up in Canada. And that's it. You just saw me do the one of them, and I don't know how long that took, but there it is. I think it came out really good, and it definitely looks great. So, okay, maybe the guys on your forum will enjoy that little bit of information, because that stuff is really easy to work with, and it's the first time I've ever used it, and I did one door panel before I just did that, so that should give you an indication how easy it is. Okay guys, good luck, bye.